So we have the new round of polling from the Iowa State University and Civics polls, and we have a new leader this time. For the first time in our 5 months of polls, Bernie Sanders is in first with 24%. After that, we've got Elizabeth Warren at 19, Pete Buttigieg at 17, Joe Biden at 15, and then Amy Klobuchar up at 11%. So Pete Buttigieg, who was our leader last month, has fallen a fair amount. Bernie Sanders is up a little bit, and then Amy Klobuchar has moved within striking range of that top tier of candidates. The interesting thing about our poll is that we re-interview about half of our survey each time. And so we can say who was supporting somebody else who is now supporting Bernie Sanders, to not only say that Bernie Sanders is in first, but try to get a sense of why. And it ends up Sanders is in first for a combination of things. First, he holds on to all of his supporters. For every month where we've done re-interviews, Bernie Sanders supporters, about 95% of Bernie Sanders supporters have stayed with him from month to month. To put that in context, in this month, Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren lost about a quarter of their supporters, and Pete Buttigieg lost about a third of his supporters. So that stability is the sort of backbone of Sanders' support. And that's part of the reason why some of the other candidates have fallen, is that they've lost supporters. But that's not the whole story. Part of it is that Bernie Sanders is also gaining new supporters. So he's gaining supporters both from the people who had supported candidates who dropped out. He got about half of the Castro people and about a quarter of the Booker people. He's gained more and more every month from people who had previously supported Tulsi Gabbard. But he's also gaining from Elizabeth Warren. About 10% of the people who had supported Warren last month are supporting Sanders this month. Where he's not gaining support, however, is from the undecided category. So the people who previously had said they weren't sure who they were going to support, Bernie Sanders only got 2%, well below basically all of the other candidates. And he's not getting support from people who are new interviews. So if about half of our survey are re-interviews from last month, about half are new. And he's actually in second place amongst those new people behind Elizabeth Warren. So in addition to the Sanders being ahead and sort of why he's ahead, the two other big things are, again, this Klobuchar gain. She more than doubled her support from last month, getting close to be at that 15% of viability. And then the other thing is we see overall excitement ticking up. So in our survey, about 70% of Democrats and independents who we interview last month said that they were going to participate in the caucus. That's up to almost 80% this month. And so all of the forecasts for potentially record turnout in this caucus seem to be evident in our data as well, and we're going to have an exciting night on caucus night.